So again, this is pretty easy, but you just add a name for the app. And this is what I was talking about. Once you create that name and hit create, you've got your deployment slot. So you're within the first 1,000. So that's all you really have to do to get that deployment slot locked in today. You can keep editing and iterating on the app idea over the next week. So let's do that. Again, this video does go for a bit. It is on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it afterwards. And then you type in a prompt, and I'll go through explaining that prompt more. But it's a very simple prompt. You don't have to have a complex prompt, but you do have to be clear about what the app is, what the rules are of the game or the website or whatever it looks like. Be clear about the buttons that you want or the text that you want. You shouldn't leave it to AI to just fill in the gaps. You should try and structure it and think through the app that you want to build. And then once you're happy that you've created an app, and I'm just showing you an example of noughts and crosses or tic-tac-toe, so you can sort of see the size of the prompt that I used. And we'll just speed this up a little bit. And then I hit submit. And let's just fast forward this. Yeah, it's still playing. And then you hit build my app. So it should be showing the next screen. There it is. So once you hit submit, it will then start writing code, and there is a queue. So make sure that your prompt is thought out. It's not too complex, and I'll talk more about prompting in a sec. And then it will get submitted in a queue. Then we do have a bunch of servers processing all the app submissions and building out those apps, and then hosting them for you at a public website address. So you actually have a working public app straight away, all just from that one prompt that I showed you before. So you let that build. Normally it takes like 5 minutes. And then once it's finished, it will say that it's finished. And I'll just let that video update. There is a link at the bottom where you can go to GitHub and view the source code of what you created. You can download that if you want to keep a copy. So again, we're not hoarding IP from you or intellectual property. It's your property. You can do that. And it is open source. It does generate images for you for the app icon based on the name and description. And then once that's finished, it will deploy. And then once it's deployed, it'll have a public-facing website. And this is an app that a mobile phone can open up and start using and engaging with. So, but yeah, just keep the app simple to start with. So you should have only one app allowed per wallet. So let me know if there's any issues there. But basically the app's published. So this is my example from that prompt, tic-tac-toe. There is settings to connect it to Base if you want to deploy it on the Base store, the Base app store. And there's also settings to connect it to Farcaster if you want to link to this on a decentralized, say, Twitter app, which is called Farcaster. Then you click the button to open it, and then it opens up the app. There is a new feature now where you can go through the version history, you can revert and reset the app. So look out for the button at the bottom, which talks about versions, and you can open that and reset it back to the start, or you can revert back to a previous change that you made. Also, once you open it, you basically have this app, and I just made a simple web app called Tic-Tac-Toe. You can add things like a share button where people can share their score to social media and refer more people to use your app. We will be rolling out extra monetary features like auto connect wallet, where people can start subscribing to whatever app you build. But it's important just to know that the mini app factory is just launched, and you guys are early, so you're in the first 1,000 apps deployed ever. So you will get a slot. So yeah, we've got the team there to help. And I'll just flick back to the slides and explain prompting. This is something that you should be aware of as well. So let me just change to slides. Okay. And here is an example prompt. So this is the example prompt that I put in the video I just played. So again, I described all the rules of the game. I wanted to make the simple game called noughts and crosses or tic-tac-toe. So you can specify the grid, what the icons or emojis look like, whether it's zeros or X's. You have to obviously have input from the user. So the person draws an X or O, and then after a second, the AI will respond and put the opponent's X and O, and then they compete together to form 3 X's or 3 O's in a straight line, whether that's horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So I specify all the rules of the thing I'm trying to build. I don't say things like, build it in Unreal Engine or anything complex like importing external libraries or things. Just try and keep it very simple, and then the AI will build that for you. And I was able to build that app in one shot. So, and I've recorded the whole thing on a video. So the other part is prompting tips. So again, these tips are shown on the base mini app factory next to the title. There's a little info tip thing that you can click and hover over, and it basically runs through the do's and don'ts of prompting. So keep your description as focused as possible. Try to create something using multiple iterations instead of one go. So you can update the app after it's built. There is a pop-up that says your app is now deployed. Once you get it deployed, you can exit that, and then at the bottom there's an input box showing please enter some text to change the app. So this is how you update the app. Just like ChatGPT, you can keep the conversation going. So some probably awareness of the app builder. It doesn't have access to the internet directly unless you build something in the app to connect to the internet, and that is possible. But at a basic level, you shouldn't be saying like, get all the information out of Google for the latest soccer or basketball scores. That's just not going to work. So just try and build internal games that don't access the internet, or internal apps that don't access the internet. It also, like I said, just use common website elements like maybe there is a little photo generation or button or text, and try and build basic apps like that. It will get more advanced. So I've already built a dashboard that pulls in, information from a blockchain, or pulls in price feeds. So it is possible to do that. But there is limitations, and it probably needs its own workshop for more advanced apps. But just keep it basic. And the other part of it is we just did launch, so you do get free hosting. You get a bunch of benefits for being in the Genesis first 1,000 deployments, but we will be adding extra features like the ability to connect wallet to the app that you build so people can pay you. So, there is going to be cool things like maybe you build a little game and then maybe they get another turn and you can tell them to pay 5 cents for the extra turn, or maybe it's a power-up bonus. So there's a lot of cool, fun things that we can do with that. and you guys will be able to add that easily through AI, talking to the AI. And yeah, there is a version system. So now you can go back in time to the first prompt or the second prompt change or the third prompt change and revert back to that code. Redeploys the app, and you can go back in time in case you cause it doesn't go the way you want it, and maybe something doesn't work and you can't fix it. You can go back to when it was last working, and you can also reset it all the way back to the start as well. Except that the name stays the same. So try and pick a good name in the area of what you want to build. The name and icon will probably not change right now. So think about the name that you're building, and then build that app, and you can keep iterating on that. And that's everything I'm going to be presenting today. So I'll just get the other banner displayed. But yeah, hopefully you guys can see from that information. I have put a lot of, I'll just share one more thing. So let me just go to it. So yeah, find me on YouTube. So just open up the YouTube app, look up my name, John Forfar. That video I just showed you is a little short that's running on my YouTube channel. A lot of these videos do get pulled into the official OpenxAI. Some don't. If I'm just recording a how-to guide that's very simple, and I just want to make sure it's out there so people can look at it, I put it here first, and then I get it sort of uplifted with branding and the rest of the team to help make that an official video. But yeah, all the workshops we run across Philippines, different universities around USM, CMU, different universities in Davao. You can go through and look at all those workshops. So yeah, check that out, and yeah, just find me there. But also sign up for the official YouTube and for OpenxAI.